Hi fixers. So today we're going after this fuel pump on this 2008 E150 van, and we're going to be going after the fuel pumps. First we got to take the driveline out. There's 12.12s we got to take out, and then we have these weird straps, and then we also have our fuel hoses that we have to disconnect. We're going to disconnect them there, and then we're going to get our straps, which you can see here, it goes in like that, and then you go to the other side. There's a bolt that goes through the frame and has a nut that holds it in place. So we're going to get those out. So first thing first, we're going to go after our driveline. With the car jacked up and then just axle on jack stands and everything's safe, I'm going to go ahead and start going after my bolt. So depending on what you do, if you have the driveline in the car neutral or something like that, it does make it tricky to get to these bolts. I just left it dry for safety reasons, and then I went ahead and I just used a wrench to break these loose. And you got to get all four, and then you just torque them back to spec once you go back the other way. We give it a little bit of a love tap here on the side, pops loose, and out she comes. Sometimes there's some oil drippage, but if you have it jacked way up, the oil falling out is very minimal. As you can see here, the axle shaft is already leaking, so we're going to have to replace that too another time. So we're going to get these screw clamps loose here, and then we're going to work our hose off, because we're just going to let the tank come down with our screws, with our hoses, so that we can put them up on top of the frame when we get it back going in, so it kind of acts as a holding spot. So then I got my hoses popped off, pop this little one off, then we have my connector. We'll go ahead and pull it apart. Then I got my tank jacked up with a jack so it has support. We're going to go after our straps here, get this bolt to come down. As you can see, it's working its way down, so you're going to have to remove it all the way out to get it to drop down. Okay, with the straps loose, I'm going to let it down just a little bit so I can see a little better and see what my hoses look like and which ones I have to disconnect. Make sure I don't have any vent lines or anything like that. I need to disconnect so they don't break. So now we got better access to the top. You can see I have one I have to take off with a quick disconnect fitting. Take that off. And then there is another hose that has the same thing. And then there's a connector that we'll have to take off. So you go ahead and you have this connector here, so you want to get like a red quick disconnect fitting, like you have the same tool I do with that vinyl. So you get that red fitting in there, it spreads the part as far as you get in there. So here's a click, and it pops right out just like that. So I can see it a little bit. There it is, it's off. Now I just gotta get that, let's say, yellow. Now we're going to go to the back of the tank, which there is another quick disconnect. So you press down this white trigger here, work your way back and forth, and it will pop out. You may even have to use a quick disconnect tool like we were just using, or to get in there if you can, because sometimes these can be tricky. So as you can see here, I had to resort to using the yellow in order to get it in there. Once I was able to get it worked around this, pushed in, but I'll get it in there and then it should be fine. So now with the tank out, I'm going to go ahead and get my bolts loose here, get access so I can drain my gas out so I can make it a lot lighter. I'm using my fuel pump system that I always use, which makes it safe. I'm not going to have vapor or anything like that. So we're going to pull this out here, and we're going to take a look at it. As we pull it out, we got to work it back and forth. You want to make sure that you don't pull straight up because you can rip your float off. So as you can see, I got it sucking out with my fuel caddy here, and we're going to get the fuel out. Alrighty, fixture, so we got it in the bench here for a little more leverage, so we're going to get this metal clip out that holds the fuel pump line on. So we're going to get that, pop that out. Then we're going to go after we got our Phillips here that holds the strap on that keeps the pump in. You can see I'm working on that here. Once you get that, you get your fuel line off. The kit comes with a new fuel line. Once you get a new fuel line, you get it on there and use a couple hose clamps. In order to get your sock on your fuel pump on, you go ahead on your new one, pop it off,
and then you go ahead and you put it in place, and you can tap with a hammer like this just a little bit, or just use a little bit of socket. You're not tapping hard because you don't want to break anything. And then you go ahead, and it comes with a new tie wrapper too that keeps everything. That's your return line. You want to make sure that's tied down, but not too tight that it's restricted. So just tug on your filter a little bit, make sure everything's gonna be in place. Sometimes they give you a new connector. They gave me a new connector with this one. I went ahead and I rerouted it to the right connector, and it should be ready to go back into the tank. Alright, so once we get back to the tank, we're going to go ahead and make sure that everything's lined up where it's supposed to be. We marked it when we came out, and we're going to go ahead and tighten this down evenly so that we're not going to have anything too tight in one area. Because, you can warp it, or you just not seal down on your rubber gasket that great. So you want to do like a star pattern, like you do on a tire, so everything gets equally pulled down. Going back the other way, we want to make sure that your straps were marked, or at least you had them oriented which way they went, and then get up in there. You want to push up on your tank so you can have enough throw with your strap for your other bolted end, so you can get your nut on there and tighten her up. Howdy fixers, so thanks for watching, really appreciate it. So that's how I do the fuel pump on a 2008 Ford E150, I think that's what it was, or maybe E250. I can't remember if it's which one it is, but that's basically how you do it. If you have any questions or anything like that, please comment down below. Please give me a like, give me a subscribe if you like what I'm doing for you. And first time tuning in, this is just what we do. We fix things. So thanks for watching, appreciate it, and have a good one.
Fixer good.
Be a fixer, fixer, fixer. Be your own people.